Hi everyone, welcome to Magic with Samwise. I am Samwise Raridon, a community herbalist, educator, artist, wizard, maker of magic potions, and today I'm going to show you how to make a real life magic potion. So welcome everybody. Before we get started, I want to talk about what is magic. That's something we hear about in like TV or movies when you go pew and something like shiny comes out of your hands and like that's cool. I don't know how to do that, but I do know how to do real life magic, which is about being in relationship or being in a friendship with all the elements in our world. So you may be wondering what elements are in our world, and I can tell you that there are 5. I hope this isn't backwards for you, so I'm going to say what they are. So you may have seen this shape before, right? The star in the circle. And so what this is talking about is talking about how all the elements in our life, spirit, air, fire, water, and earth, are all in relationship to each other. All of these elements are in everything. All these elements are in you and in me. And these exist, they are in our life in balance sometimes, and that's when things feel really good, and sometimes they're out of balance. So that's when we can use our helping spirit, the spirit of the human spirit, to help bring things back into balance. And so you might be wondering, like, how are these related? How do they connect? Well, let's do an example. So if you have spirit, like the human spirit, some people think about like a deity or a god or a goddess. I like to think about what is the spirit of the plant that makes the green shoot of the plant come out of the seedling. To me, that's spirit. That's like the life force, like what makes life like come forward and be exciting and happy. So when we look at this star, we can think about relationships. So some people say that when you place these elements, the spirit, air, fire, water, and earth, together by density. Does anyone know what density means? If you don't, that's okay. It means hardness, like how soft or hard it is. So we're gonna go least hard to most hard. So the least hard's over here, spirit and air, then more hard, fire and water, because you can feel those, right? And the earth is like the earth, very solid. So when we look at these lines, we're looking at fire and water. When we go here, these 2 lines lead to spirit. So one way to think about how we can use this as a tool or as a learning tool is these 2 elements can create this element. And that's how we know how to bring things into balance. So for example, how do water and fire make spirit? So let's think about that for a second. How would water and fire make spirit? Well, I think about like a cup of tea. So this says tea, it has water. It was heated by fire on my stove. And then what comes out is this steam, and it curls and it moves around almost like it has a little life of its own. So that's one example. And did you know that a lot of scientists think that where life started, at the beginning, first of all, do you know where life began? Many different cultures have different stories and different ways of thinking about that. But one story is that deep down in the middle of in the bottom of the ocean, there are these vents that are like cracks, big cracks in the earth where like the fire and the molten lava of the earth, right, can kind of seep through, can come through, and it hits the water and it makes the water hot. And a lot of scientists think that where the water met the fire of the earth is where the first cells began. So that's like our first life. So that's just one way to think about it. So we want to think about how all these elements can be in relationship in our life so that we can be in good relationship to the elements. And one way that we can help be in good relationship to the elements, if we're out of a good relationship, sometimes being out of a good relationship feels like feeling anxious or feeling scared or feeling really sad. Sometimes that means we need to help ourselves get into a different relationship. So one way to do that is through magic potions. My favorite magic potions, being an herbalist, are magic potions that are about helping people feel better. And so one of my favorite plants to help people feel better is chamomile. Have you met my friend chamomile before? It looks a little bit like this when it's dried. Do you see that? There are these bright yellow and white flowers. They smell really good. They smell a little bit like apples. And that's what their name means in Greek, is ground apple, because it grows kind of low to the ground and it kind of likes being close to the earth. Actually, chamomile kind of likes when you like touch it and like rub your face in it. And chamomile is also really, really great for helping us be with fear, with the energy of fear. Sometimes there's too much fear in our lives. A little bit of fear sometimes is good. When you're like, I'm afraid to cross the street, when there's a really busy street and there's a lot of cars, that's your body being like, maybe you should wait until there's not that many cars. But sometimes there's just a lot of fear in the air. So going back to the elements, right? The element of air, sometimes people think about like fear or anxiety as being kind of tied to or like thought about together with the air. So if we want to kind of bring that back into balance, what do you think we should bring it back into balance with? So we have air, and what do we have? Water and earth. So you can see in earth, right? There is a little tree, a little plant, because that's what comes out of the earth, right? When you put water on it. So today we're going to play with a little bit of earth, a little bit of plant, right? And a little bit of water. So today we're going to make our potion out of the water form of apple cider vinegar, which is water, apple, and like really great friendly bacteria that helps us bring ourselves back into balance. But before we do that, I want to make sure that we are in a good place to make a magic potion. Because did you know that water has memory? That's right. It can remember the energy and the emotions around it. There's this Japanese scientist named, I'm going to make sure I say the name correctly, which I didn't write down. It's Emoto, is the last name. And so he did experiments where he had people project a feeling or like point a feeling at some water, right? So like something like this, right? Be like, send this water love. And so people would send the water love, and then they would freeze it and take a picture, and different crystals would look different depending on what feeling was around the water. So water is very like associated, this water right here, right? Water is very closely tied to our emotions, how we're feeling inside. So before we make a magic potion, let's get a read. Let's get a sense of how we feel inside, because however we feel is going to go into our magic potion. So, or tincture is another word, or medicine. So what I like to do when I figure out like, how am I feeling? Am I in a good spot to make a magic potion, or am I feeling kind of like agitated or anxious or scared or sad? Maybe I want to wait because I want my magic potion to be able to bring me into a good place, a good relationship, and feel better. So to do that, I like to do a little bit of meditation or mindfulness. And so the way that I like to do that, and I invite you to join me, is to find a really comfortable seat. Sometimes people like to stand or lie down. Sometimes even people like to walk, but for right now, let's just start with sitting in a position that feels good. And we're going to try to kind of bring our energy into a little more of a settled place, a little more of a quiet place. So I'd like you to try to sit quietly and close your eyes and breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And can you feel how your body, you're resting on the hard, safe earth? in through your nose, out through your mouth. And keep breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you're breathing, you may notice that some thoughts or feelings pop into your mind, and that's okay. See if you can notice them like clouds in the sky. What's the weather inside like today? Is it a stormy, busy, very windy sort of day? And lots of anxiety or restlessness? Is it raining and gloomy and kind of sad? Is it bright and sunny and warm? Like a warm, beautiful day, hot day of summer? Is it kind of peaceful, grounded? Does it feel good to be sitting on the solid earth that's always there to hold you? What does your weather feel like today? And see if you can notice by bringing your air into your body, in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And once you feel like you've got a picture in your head of what the weather is like today, I invite you to come back and open your eyes and decide. Would you like to make a magic potion today? Do you feel in a good, steady, happy place? Or do you feel a little bit windy, a little bit rainy, a little bit stormy? That's okay. You can pause the video and come back another time. But if you feel good and you feel ready, because I feel good, I feel ready, I feel really excited to share this magic potion with you, then let's begin. So we're gonna need our materials. So we already have our chamomile, which is the most important, well, one of the most important parts. Let's take a moment to say thank you to this chamomile and smell it, and smell it. It smells a little bit sweet, smells a little bit fruity, smells a little bit warm in my nose. And just to imagine, or to take a moment to admire how beautiful it is, all these little flowers. A person had to harvest each individual flower of these, so we just want to say thank you to the chamomile for your magic properties. Thank you to the chamomile for your tastiness. Thank you to the people who harvested this chamomile. Thank you to their parents and grandparents and everyone in their lives who allowed them to be alive so that they could harvest this chamomile. So just take a moment to say thank you, chamomile. Say thank you, chamomile. Oh, beautiful. Love it. Great. So we need some chamomile. We need our water, right? So that's our earth. Here's our water, the apple cider vinegar. It's a little bit of different kind of water, but it is liquid like a water, right? So we have that, and that's gonna help suck out the medicine from the flowers, and that's what we need to have the nice calming, like settling medicine of the chamomile come out. It's really good for sleepy time. It's good for nightmares. Do you ever have nightmares? It really helps to like be with the fear, but also kind of come to a more calm place. And then another thing that I love to add to my medicines to make them super tasty and to bring in a little bit of sweetness is some honey. Ooh, The honey makes it taste really good. It also helps it last longer. And so let's take a moment to thank both the apple cider vinegar, all those apples, thanking all the workers who helped pick all those apples and their families, all the foods that they ate to help them go to work every day to pick the apples. And let's thank the bees, the beautiful bees. Can I hear your best bee sound? Bzzz. All the beautiful bees pollinating all of our flowers, all of our beautiful flowers every day, and then making this super tasty, yummy, healing honey that's gonna make our magic potion extra sweet. So we say, thank you, bees. Thank you, bees. Great. So what else do we need? We need a jar to put our medicine and our magic potion in. We need a little bit of plastic. I like to cut up a plastic bag from the grocery store and then fold it over. Because did you know that apple cider vinegar will corrode or rust the metal of a metal lid of the jar. So if you put some plastic, it's like a nice protection between the medicine and the lid. So you need a little bit of plastic or a plastic lid, that would work too. Something to stir our medicine. This is also our magic wand. And then last but not least, always, always, always label the magic potion that you make with what is in it, because months later you could find this jar and it could have some stuff in it and you could be like, what is that? And you would never know if you didn't label. So we're always going to label. Great. So let's start with our magic potion. Okay, and so I need everybody's help to make this be the most magical potion. And I think one of the best ways to make something really potent with magic is to get everybody all together, putting their best wishes, their best intentions into the medicine. And then we remember that, and also the water remembers that. So it's extra juicy, extra charged up, extra healing, extra calming. So let's put in, we have our jar, we have our chamomile. And I'm going to put, as I'm going to put in this chamomile, I'm going to put in my my wish and intention for how people are going to feel when they sip or drink this chamomile. So I want people to feel safe and protected and loved. I want people to feel calm and grounded and peaceful. I want people to feel happy, joyful, more love. I want people to remember gratitude and healing and sunny days outside. And I have a little bit more, and I'm going to put extra love. Who doesn't need more love? Extra hugs and some laughter. So that's in the flowers. So next I'm gonna put in my water, my apple cider vinegar, right? And remember how water holds memory. So I'm gonna send some extra love to this and be extra caring around this water and say, thank you, apple cider vinegar. Thank you so much for being so healing and delicious. And as I put, so I'm going to do it in thirds. So one, if you don't know thirds yet, it's 1 part chamomile, and then if you're going to divide this into 3, so 1, 2, 3 parts, right? So the first part is all flowers. The next part is going to be apple cider vinegar, and then the last part is going to be honey, and then we're going to stir it. So as I'm putting in this apple cider vinegar into these chamomile flowers, I'm going to think of calm beauty, and I'm going to think of good night's sleep and giggles. So that's about halfway. Doesn't need to be perfect. Totally okay if it's a little bit off. At the end of the day, it's for you. So it's however you want to make it. I just think, personally, I think that's kind of a nice, good strength to it. And so then the last part, I just want to add some extra sweetness. These last couple of months have been super hard. Have you been feeling it? Yeah, I've been feeling it too. And the way that I like to get through tough times is to remember the sweetness. And so honey is a really lovely way to do that. So we're just gonna put this honey on top and put the intentions of sweetness in our lives, some good luck, some more opportunities for joy and happiness. Great. And just let the last, there's a lot. So honey's pretty sticky, huh? Hopefully someone is helping you, because this can be kind of messy. Great. And so the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my magic wand, right? I'm gonna pick a number that feels really magical to me. I'm gonna say 21. And then I'm going to stir this 21 times, and as I'm stirring, I'm putting in my wish for a beautiful future and my good intentions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, count with me, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And a little extra at the end. But that helps us get it like good and mix up. It's still going to be a little bit separated for a while. That's okay. So then, to protect my magic potion and protect my own spirit, I'm going to put this plastic on the top and say, may all these energies be sealed into this beautiful medicine, this tincture, this magic potion. May it be safe and protected. And then I'm going to put the lid on nice and tight. If this is hard for you, because sometimes the plastic makes it hard to seal all the way, so it can spill a little bit. So just make sure it's on there nice and tight. Ask an adult for help if you need some help. And then the second to last step is to shake out all the negativity. So I'm gonna say, if there's any negativity left in here, I'm gonna shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. If there's any negativity in me, I'm gonna shake it out. If you're not making one, go ahead and shake your body, jump up and down, some make a noise, go wah! Looks good, right? Beautiful. So that's almost done. The last step is, do you remember? So important. So important that we always label our magic potions with what's in it and what today is. So I'm going to take a little piece of tape like this. I'm going to put it on the jar like that. I'm going to write what it is, which is magic chamomile. And when you make a medicine with apple cider vinegar and honey, in the herbalism world, that's called an oxymel. Oxymel. Chamomile. And then today's date is the 14th of January, 2021. So, and then that's ready to sit for a month. 2 weeks if you're really impatient. But usually people say to let it sit either in a sunny place or a dark place, depending on what you like, for a month, 2 weeks to a month. And then when it's done, you can run it through a strainer, like a little tea strainer or like a kitchen strainer, to get out all the little plant pieces. And then you can take little sips to help yourself feel better or have a better night's sleep. And so what I like to do too is kind of keep this jar in a place where I see it every day. Sometimes that might be on my altar where I keep special things. That kind of looks like this up here. That's also my jars. But that's where I keep special things that make me feel good to look at and help me remember where I came from. Or I can just keep it on a shelf where I see it, and then every day kind of give it a little bit of extra good intention. So like my intention for this magic potion is really to help people feel better. So I'm going to give it a little turn upside down and say, may you help people feel better. And then I'm going to set it back on the shelf and let it sit for a month. And then after a month, it'll be done and ready to go. So that's how you make one way to make a magic potion. I'd be so excited to hear about what magic potions you are going to make. Some things taste really good with apple cider vinegar and honey, like fennel, rose. What else tastes really good with apple cider vinegar and honey? Lots of things. Some things don't taste good, so you get to experiment. Always make sure, though, to work with an adult and make sure that the plant or the flower that you're working with is actually edible. Don't just go take in any old flower out of your garden, because some of those might make us sick. So we want to make sure that the plant that we're using is okay to be eaten. We're using a medicine, and then once we know that and get permission, then you can make as many magic potions as you like. Yeah, so I am curious too what it would be like. So here's your assignment. If you choose to accept it, here's your special mission. If you make a potion like this one, what would it be like to try a little sip, just the teensiest little sip every day for 1 month? How would you feel? That's my magic experiment for you. Do you feel different? You can keep a little log, like a little notebook, or have your folks help you keep a little piece of paper. And a good way to tell like how it's working, the magic potion, is to take a couple of minutes, like 1 to 3 to 5 minutes every day, to do the breathing, the calming breath that we talked about, the in through the nose, out through the mouth, and notice the weather inside. And then you can write down the weather inside each day after you take your sip of your magic potion and see if it changes over the month. So that's your wizard homework if you choose to accept it. And once again, thank you for joining me so much. My name is Samwise Raridon, and if you really loved this video and you would like more, please join my Patreon. There'll be a link in the video notes where I'll be releasing shorter videos on magic and mindfulness for kids and adults every month, and then longer classes for magic and plant magic lessons for kids and adults. So visit me on Patreon, and I hope you all have a really beautiful, magical, calm, and peaceful day.